we're going to cover Matic today and have a look at the key levels that you need to be looking out for, as well as some price predictions moving into the future and moving into 2022. Okay, so if you like this sort of content, please drop me a like down below, subscribe to the channel because I do these videos daily. And if you want me to cover any other coins, do let me know in the comments section below. So let's get straight into it. Matic has been a coin that has been performing super strong, not only in this bull cycle and has made some absolutely explosive gains, but even whilst the market has been generally trending down and Bitcoin has been losing value, actually Matic has been super strong and still been in a general uptrend since the start of last summer. And it's a coin that you probably be wanting to join the uptrend rather than rather than have a look at some of the other coins like, Cardano and some of the other layer ones like Sol, etc. Okay, I do think the chart on Matic looks a lot better, so that gives you a little bit more confidence. So let's have a look at some of the recent price action that we can see. On the weekly, we are holding the EMA 21, definitely a key momentum indicator. So long as we're above this, we can essentially push higher, okay, and we're bullish on the asset. And you can see as well that we're holding in, holding this trend line over here that we can see, and we're creating higher highs, higher lows. Matic is uptrending. Okay, now that's what we can say in the short to medium term for Matic, but we are obviously somewhat at elevated levels where we're near all-time highs. So we're looking at areas of value where we can basically get into Matic to take some positions. Okay, so the way that I'd be looking at it is, let's mark out the absolute key levels that we can see. Okay, and I can see essentially probably 2 or 3 levels, which I think is probably somewhere around here, which is the first port of call, which is going to be that $170 level where we can see multiple touch points and price rejections and support in the past. And we can see another one over here, which is about the dollar mark, big round number. And I think an ultimate buy the dip opportunity, should you ever get that with Matic, is going to be over here at the 65-70 cent level for Matic, where we've got massive key weekly support and wicks to the downside. And I imagine if we have a look at our VPVR, we'll probably find some low volume nodes at those prices. Yeah, we can see here at the dollar mark, you see, remember we have low volume. It means that price doesn't hang around at those levels for very long, so we either tend to puncture straight down or we get strong support and big wicks at those areas. And we can see we have got some low volume here again at that 170 level, and then obviously we've got over here where price has basically been non-existent. You can see this massive pocket over here of low volume at that 70 cent mark. So that's how I am looking at Matic. Now I think Matic BTC actually gives us a little bit more of a clearer entry point on when to get in and when to get out, because we've basically got 2 key levels, really key levels, which are the levels to watch out for, and I would mark these out, which is essentially the 3,500 sat level, and we've got another one at about the 2,000 sat level, okay, which from here would represent a 36% decline versus BTC, and if you're feeling a little bit more conservative, or if you thinking that Matic can get all the way down to these lows, this is definitely a buy the dip opportunity if we get down here. So remember, we don't always need to value stuff in USD and chart versus USD. We can use some of the other pairings to give us an idea of where we want to enter areas of value. So even if let's say you were holding a lot of Bitcoin and you wanted to transfer it to some altcoins, okay, the way that you do it is you would look to, add in on some of these levels and some of these levels. You wouldn't just convert your Bitcoin to Matic now because we're somewhere near some highs. So I would definitely be looking out and marking out these levels over here, okay? And like we said a minute ago, Matic looking very strong as well versus Ethereum, generally uptrending, just looking good all round. Now, if we have a look at some price projections for Matic, there are about 3 price targets moving into the future that we can look at, and the levels that we've got are essentially somewhere around the $3, somewhere around the $5, and somewhere around the $10. So we're going to have a look at those key levels now so you can mark them out. Okay, so we've marked out those levels to the downside, and essentially what do we look out for? The 1, the 1.618, and the 4.236. So those are the main fib levels that we look out for. We want to pick out some of those major impulsive waves, right? So if we have a look at some way down here, and we have a look at this big impulse that we got to the May crash, okay, and we can have a look at some levels, some of the key levels. Even if we take, remember, the fib from here to here, it's really not going to make much difference because it's the relative price difference. From here to here is actually not that much. So I'm looking at the first level at the 1.618, okay? That puts us at somewhere around that $5 mark, okay? And then somewhere up here, if you're feeling pretty bullish, as you know, those top end targets for Matic, you know, you're looking at about that $12 and $10 mark somewhere up here, okay? So we'll mark out those levels, and then we've got a 1-to-1 extension of that at about the $3.4, okay? So we've got essentially a level here, a level here, and a level here. Okay, so let's basically get rid of that extension, and then we can kind of have a look at some of the next major wave extension, where we've got this move over here from that May, okay, and then can we find any confluence here? Again, we've got the 4.236 up here at about that $10-11 mark. We've got that again at about $4.65 over here, and then we've got the 1-to-1 again, pretty similar over there. So we're marking out these key levels as maybe some profit taking zones if we can, you know, puncture up here into 2022. And then even if we have a look at some of these sub impulse waves, we can see the extension on some of these also will line up with those price targets, okay? So if we're looking at 1.618, we're looking at about the $3 mark, okay? From this wave over here, 4.236 is going to be somewhere in and around that $5 mark. And essentially, if we have a look at this wave over here, okay, again, we can find some confluence over here. So definitely some price targets that I would be looking out for. And even if you just consider that, you know, Matic was just to move up again via versus BTC, some significant move, and we expect that we get maybe some sort of move like from the bottom. Where does that put us? The 1-to-1 puts us over here at 8,000 sats, and another one puts us at 12,000 sats, okay? So from here, that would be a 60% move, that would be a 130% move, not something out of the ordinary. So again, mark out these levels to the upside so we know where we can look to potentially take profits at, so that you don't get caught out once we start to enter price discovery on Matic BTC. So those essentially are the key levels that I'd be looking out for. And like I said, mark out those key levels where maybe somewhere more towards the weekly 21 EMA to be looking to get in, which is going to be somewhere in and around this trend line over here. Okay, it's uptrending, and if we do fall apart and the market basically takes a turn for the worse and Matic does pull back, then look for those $1.20 levels, $1 and 70 cents if price was to absolutely tank it and move lower. So yeah, so that's basically what I'd be looking at Matic. Definitely looking one of the stronger coins. I would rather be getting into these sort of projects, okay, at slightly discounted prices and areas of value than ones that haven't actually turned around yet. So things like Cardano, for example, okay, is not really for me a good buy at the moment. Okay, we can discuss that in another video, but you can see that essentially this is a downtrending coin, okay? So this has been losing value pretty much throughout the last 6 to 8 months when Matic has been gaining. Cardano has been losing pretty much, you know, everything. I know a lot of people are like hyped up about some of these projects and you've got all your favorite coins, but you know, do be careful of just like, you know, just jumping in and trying to catch a falling knife. I would wait for some sort of confirmation on some of these coins like Cardano, or at least get into some sort of key area of support before you start getting into these. So yeah, coins like Matic looking very strong, and project that I'll be looking to get into. If you like the video, drop me a like down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.